What's going on, guys? Today I want to share my newest project with you. This is a 95 Civic DX EJ2. If you saw my previous videos, I ended up getting rid of my 90 Civic Si, my old track car. I ended up using that money to help fund this one and ended up buying this project. After selling the Si, this is the model of car that I wanted. I wanted a 92-95 Civic Coupe. Didn't matter if it was DX or EX. I just wanted a clean-bodied example. I had been searching for the last 3 to 4 months for one, but could not seem to find anything locally that came up and that was reasonably priced for what I was looking for. Some were just a little too rough, not clean enough in terms of the body, and some just had mods that I didn't care for, so ended up passing on a handful. And this one just kind of came up by chance. If you've been around my channel for a little while, you know I get a handful of cars from Phoenix. This is another example of that. My parents were up there. They visit Phoenix at least 6 times a year. This one had to come up on Facebook Marketplace, and it had been up there for like 3 weeks. I know my parents were going up, and it took me a few days even to decide on having my dad check it out, but he was up there, I sent him over, and obviously the rest is history. We have this car here now. And in looking at the pictures, it looked like it was pretty straight. I like the fact that it has the sun damage and the OG paint back here. I was more concerned with the parts of the body that you cannot fix. Like bumpers, trunks, doors, fenders can all be replaced. There's a little dent here. I feel like that could probably be pushed out. This door I think has been repainted, and the fenders I was looking at are no longer original Honda, but they line up pretty well. There's a little bit of subframe damage, but overall the car is straight and straight enough for what I wanted. The listing had it for $4,200. When I had found the listing, it said $3,500. You know how it shows a crossed out price. And I ended up paying $3 grand for it. Interior wise, has a random tack. The airbag is removed. It was an Acura steering wheel. I had removed it already. I was getting ready to put one of my quick releases on here because I want to get the horn working again so I can get it registered and titled under my name. Random stereo. It has a boost gauge that I'll go over in a moment. Incorrect P05 ECU. Door panels are clean. This door panel is missing. I was trying to replace the stopper. Rear panels, looks like it was gutted because there's no seat belts back here, but the interior isn't bad at all. I do plan on gutting it. I'm not trying to save or restore. I want to make this another track build, and then this is a great example of what I can use it for. Let's pop the hood real quick. Now this is what drew me in the most, a running and driving EG Coupe with a B16. This is a 93 B16, so an SIR1 out of obviously a Japanese EG. Random radiator. I don't think it has a brand, probably like an eBay radiator. It does have an HMO stamped transmission. The head also has the HMO stamp there. The block does not. I couldn't find it on the plate there. Maybe it does somewhere else. There's a little bit of oil there that I don't know, but it might be a complete HMO swap. It might not be. Little shorty ram. Strut bar is cool. That's probably like a random brand that is in there, but runs and drives fine. My dad they're pretty insistent on doing something. My dad's like, all I need to do is change the battery. Let me put a new terminal on here because the old one had fallen off. And my mom and dad were insistent on driving this thing home, and I was telling him, I was like, let me bring my truck up there, we'll tow it home, we don't gotta worry about it. He's like, nah, it's like the tires look good, it drives straight, it idles fantastic, the fan's on. Needless to say, but we bought it on a Thursday. Friday morning, my dad was out there changing the battery, checked the oil, checked the coolant. He knows all the things I like now as he's been hanging out with me, working on the cars. And they drove this thing 440 miles home to me, and he said it ran like a champ, no issues. He said the car drives straight, it was decently comfortable, and I was super happy they made it home. It was honestly a little stressful when they decided to do that, but it's here now, and that just shows it shows me that it definitely was worth the $3,000. The motor's running great. He checked the oil every 2 hours to make sure the oil level had not gone down, and it did not. So obviously a strong motor. And of course, like any car, it needs help in certain areas. My dad said the clutch is a little bit hard to press in, and I understood as well, but I noticed that the line here, you can see it's leaking onto my glove already. There's a little hole here somewhere, so it's leaking onto the transmission. Probably one of the reasons why it's not engaging the clutch as well. So I'll replace that with a stainless steel line. And it needs, of course, just a lot of suspension work and whatnot. It is sitting on some stock shocks. It has some random, looks like eBay coilovers. These wheels are actually pretty cool looking. It has a really good tire on them. 15-inch wheel that I'll just end up selling, make some of my money back. And that boost gauge that I was talking about, down here there's a tapped oil pan. So I am under the assumption, I bet they had this car boosted at one point, but needless to say, regardless, it obviously made the drive home. It's running okay. I'll probably do a compression test here on it on a day to actually start working on it. I just want to give you guys this walk around. And in the trunk, the reason why I say it was probably boosted is because they gave me a turbo kit with it. I'm not sure of the brand of turbo kit. It does have, I saw on here, HKS blow off valve. There's a Skunk 2 3-inch muffler axle back that was probably on here, and just some other random piping. Excuse the tail light, I was changing out a bulb. Came with a spare Koenig wheel for that. Got this pretty cool pink tie that I'm not sure, I tried to left back here. Has a random exhaust setup. It looks like maybe like an eBay catback setup, but I don't know if it's missing exhaust hangers or what, because it is like super low here in the middle. I want to jack the car up and just take a look at everything. I might just buy a new exhaust system. It has drums, some random LCAs, but overall, man, I love it. I think this will be a perfect start for another track build. And so my plan, with the engine running as well as it is, I think I'm gonna throw a couple of inexpensive parts on here. Maybe a contact max speeder rods for another set of coilovers that I can use at the track, just to make it a really simple build. Probably throw my buddy clubs on here for a little bit of track abuse. I have some Federals that are pretty worn out, but they'll be fine for something like this. I think I'm gonna try to take it to the track sometime this year. As is, I will definitely probably change the timing belt, water pump, the seals here along the side, get some covers. I don't like leaving the timing belt exposed because there's a lot of rocks and gravel where we run at. Just throw a different intake on, of course, flush all the fluids. I think I'm going to try to get this car out on track as is, run a B16 in this coupe and just see how it does. Might be a little fun to drive. And ultimately, and I'm not saying it's going to happen next week or in a month or 2 months from now, I want to build a K-swapped car, and that's the reason why I wanted an EG or an EK. And I didn't necessarily want an EK. They're cool, but I like the EG coupes, I think, the best out of all the other Civics that there are. That's why I wanted this. I'd like to build a K-swapped car just to have something different. I've had a lot of B-series and a handful of single cams. It'd be cool and something new for me to learn, and I think it would just definitely be fun, that learning experience of putting a different motor in here, and it's a lot easier obviously to do than in an EF. So I think that'd be something I could hopefully get to in the future. But I hope you guys liked checking out the car today. I just wanted to share it with you guys on the channel because you'll probably see bits and pieces of it here and there. And if I can get it up and running by maybe like April or May, I'd like to take it to the track, and of course I'll share that video with you guys too. But thanks for taking a look at the new 95 Civic. We'll see you guys soon and hopefully get some more work done on some other cars here shortly. Weather's getting warmer, a little bit more time to be outside, days are getting longer, so should have more time to get some work done. Thanks for checking it out, guys. We'll see you next time.